So let's get to the technical details. What exactly happens when you get a concussion, physically and then chemically also?
Yeah. What happens with concussion is it's an injury to the brain that you can't visualize.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an injury, I mean, the first thing with a catastrophic injury or a head thing, you're worried about, boy, are they bleeding, or is there something in the brain where there's, you know, a stroke kind of thing going on? CT scans, MRIs show that kind of thing. When all of those studies are normal, but the brain isn't working correctly, that's a concussion.
Okay.
And initially, in a sporting event, we're concerned with the most horrific things first, so we're worried about those bleeds and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But once we figured out that that's not happening, but we know there's injury and it is concussion, what is occurring is that the individual nerve fibers that used to have a freeway connection to each other, they're disrupted. So the impulses are not getting where they need to do, and the cells are not speaking back and forth, so that there's a dysfunction between what the brain used to do and what it's currently doing. On a chemical level, those are neurotransmitters that are not making the connections they used to.
Okay.
And there's a whole cascade of kind of this neurochemical things that go on with concussion that's really cool if you study it biochemically, more than we want to get into. What's very interesting is that if we look at the biochemical part of it, we don't see complete recovery for weeks past where we think cognitive recovery actually looks pretty good. So with our testing, we see people coming back in a certain time frame, but chemically, it's actually probably a lot longer than that.
Really?
So the duration of concussion is probably longer than we realize. And the real question is, well, how long do you hold people out? Where do we really think, you know, we're going to make a difference? And we're definitely changing time frames.
Right.
You know, we used to see kids, you didn't lose consciousness, your memory's pretty good. Sit out this quarter, you're good after halftime, go back in. And we now know that that's too soon.
Right.
If we look at the biochemical world, well, that's really long. And what we've done is kind of come to middle ground a little bit. And the science will change.